Alright, so you probably the other video I kind of had to rush the end. After I looted that obsidian deposit, I just logged off and then logged on my character in Botanica, as you can see. And it's pretty much time to start farming this instance. This instance is one of the easiest instances for me to farm, probably because of the class that I am using while farming here. Like as a Death Knight, I'm practically like invincible. I just Howling Blast, kite around, large packs of mobs, and it seems to work quite well. I've never gotten very low on health, and I've never felt like I was going to die. So the class you use, of course, makes a large difference. If you're using a single class to farm everything, then you're going to be a lot better off. Depending on which class you are. Like if you're a class with lots of AoE and lots of survivability, then you're pretty much perfect. Death Knights are great for farming all of this stuff. Rogues do quite well too. They don't do very well in Ukard Pinnacle, I've come to find out, because their AoE there is kind of just pointless. It's useless. It's not very effective against the higher level mobs, and you get beat up quite easily. My Warlock does okay in there. I had a lot of ease in there on my Ret Paladin when I was farming there on my Ret Pally. In these, this instance, the Ret Pally used to not do too good until Divine Storm hit every single target. Then I'm sure that they do pretty good. I'm not entirely sure. I've never used. I don't like Divine Storm at all. It's bad. But Death Knight is pretty much one of the easiest classes that I've come to find farming this with. Also, the main thing that I recommend for Botanica is excuse me, that your class has Herbalism. Herbalism is going to make you a ton of money from here, from the Dreaming Glory, Nether Bloom. You got Fellweed, you got Terracone, you got pretty much a bunch of level 70 herbs that you'll be getting from here that all sell quite well in the auction house. Nether Bloom sells the best. Generally, I can pull in 14 gold for every 2 Nether Bloom, which averages out to obviously 7 gold each, which is a very good amount considering that you can get up to like 7 or 8 Nether Bloom within a single run. If you have Bountiful Bags perk, which just pull up my guild window, you can see that I don't have the Bountiful Bags perk. I'm only guild level 16. We're not even close to 23. We're not going to be 23 until like the end of summer. So if you have the Bountiful Bags perk, you are going to make an insane amount of money from this guide as well as from Botanica alone. Hold on. Friend was talking to me, so I'm sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. That's why I hate when I get a tell when I'm in the middle of narrating. I'm trying to think of what I was going to say now. Okay, for Herbalism. Herbalism is very important for here because now Herbalism is very important for farming here because of you'll open up yourself to so many different markets. It's not even funny. You'll be able to sell Terracone, Dreaming Glory, Fellweed. I've pretty much covered all the herbs multiple times, and also you can herb the last boss. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't. He just doesn't ask another question. But what I was saying is you'll open yourself up to a bunch of different markets. You'll be able to sell a bunch of different herbs to people that you would normally not be selling stuff to if you have Herbalism while farming here. Also, as far as disenchanting goes, you want to be disenchanting every green you get, but you do not want to disenchant any of the blues because large prismatic shards do not sell well at all. This is important to keep in mind because you want to vendor the blues. Every blue you get, vendor, because you'll be able to vendor it for more than you'll be able to sell a large prismatic shard for. Good God, so many questions. I hate having to, stop a video in order to answer people, but I hate not answering people as well. So I'm kind of like in the midst of a thing. Hold on, let me just tell them I'll answer them after a video. So just give me like 10 seconds. Okay. Weird thing for me to tell you to wait for, but okay. Continuing with continuing with this. If you have herbalism, you want to herb everything. If you have enchanting, you'll be able to clear out your inventory a lot faster while farming here. If not, you'll kind of have greens piling up in your inventory, and you'll have to mail them to a character that you can disenchant with, or you will have to mail them to it, or have a friend disenchant them for you, or something of that matter. One of the main things that you'll want to do here is, or actually one thing that I didn't address in my previous videos is arcane tombs. Arcane tombs are a very unique and interesting item when it comes to farming here, is because they sell for roughly 4 to 5 gold each, I've come to find, or maybe even 2 to 3. I mean, I have difficulty selling them most of the time. A lot of the times when it comes to selling arcane tombs, like they just plain don't sell, and they just sit on the auction house, then expire for like a week straight. But then somebody, leveling Scryer's reputation, just buys them all out at once, and then you make a lot of money off of that. I always throw them up on the auction house in singles. You can probably throw them up in singles or 5s, depending on how many you have. They do stack. I think they stack up to 20, or no, they stack them lots of 250. It's been a long time since I played, or, had to mess with any of that. All of my characters are already maxed with one of those 2 factions, so, well, most of my characters are already maxed. I should say, the ones that I care about, rather. Now, once again, they probably will sell occasionally, so it's important to hold on to them. I don't even bother documenting them in my guide. Once again, I kind of lowballed my average because I left an item like that out. But it's one of those things where I didn't really feel like throwing it in the guide because it's such a minimalistic money earner, and it takes so long in order to profit off of it. Like generally, you can expect to sell everything that you farm within 2 to 3 days, usually at the most, depending on how much of it you farm. Like if you get really backed up on a certain item, of course it's going to take longer. But arcane tombs can take up to 2 to 3 weeks in order to sell, usually. It's a very random, weird item, and you don't even always get a constant price for it. So I just found it to be better to not even bother mentioning it in my guide. But I, of course, will mention it in these videos, and have mentioned it in these videos, because it is something you can sell, and it is something you can make a little bit more money off of, which is, it's always nice to make a little bit more money. Factoring, or with that taken into consideration, as I've mentioned time and time again, I don't factor in vendor trash in my totals for my instances, because I'm too lazy to add everything up. But vendor trash is very important to sell. I cannot stress to you enough how important vendor trash is to sell, actually, because it adds up. Like that dagger I just moused over was worth pretty much 2 gold. This axe in my inventory that I'm about to mouse over right there is pretty much worth 2 gold. That mace is worth pretty much 2 gold. It starts adding up, and adding, it just continually keeps adding up. If you take all of that into consideration, now let's say it's worth 2 gold, and you may be like, well, 2 gold's not that much. Well, chances are 2 gold is probably right around the amount that you're going to be selling arcane dust for, a single unit of arcane dust. So, and you would think a single unit of arcane dust is worth something, right? So it's pretty much use that same logic. You always want to vendor stuff. All the stuff that you're not selling on the auction house, you'll want to vendor. Another thing about Botanica is, see these bottled Nethergon vapors and bottled Nethergon energies? You will want to get rid of them because you can't vendor them, and they don't sell on the auction house. And they're pretty much useless since nobody runs these instances seriously anymore, and there's no need for any of those weak potions when people actually do run these instances. So you'll just want to toss them aside, get rid of them. I destroy them the second I get in my inventory. You can if you don't feel like destroying them every single time you get one, you can kind of just let them pile up in your inventory, and then if you ever need space, you can just destroy them. I just have nothing better to do while running from pack of mobs to pack of mobs, so I just destroy them. In this little room here, you'll be getting Terracone, as well as a Fellweed spawn over there, and I think I missed the spawn of Netherweave earlier in the video. It doesn't look like I have enough or have the right amount of netherweave in my bag for how far I am in this instance. Chances are I probably missed the spawn of netherweave or not netherweave, nether bloom in my video, which I've mentioned in previous videos that I do occasionally pass that spawn, especially when I'm narrating, because I just lose my train of thought and I just lose. I'm trying to think of what to say, and rather I'm not paying that much attention to the instance itself. That's why whenever I narrate a video, you'll notice that the video is slower than the videos that I only throw like a 2-minute narration clip in the beginning to pretty much let you know that I'm not narrating it. When it comes to factoring in my instance totals, every video I narrated through the instance totals was about a minute slower. And that's you know, it just goes to show that I go a little bit slower when I have to narrate, because I have to think of what to say as well as thinking of what I need to do. One thing I like to say though is I skip Laj now. Sometimes I kill him, sometimes I don't. It depends on what type of mood I'm in, but most of the times I skip him because he drops like a worthless, not a worthless, but a cheap blue that you can vendor. But generally, if you're here farming for materials, like if you're here farming for enchanting materials, or if you're here farming for netherweave, then it's not really worth your time most of the time to kill him. So it's best to just skip him. But if you want the extra vendor trash, then feel free, burn him down, kill him. But you'll make more probably by skipping him. I mean, it honestly depends. I haven't done the math both ways. It takes probably 30 seconds to kill him, so 30 seconds for about 5 gold that he gives you. I mean, I guess it's kind of okay. So it really depends on what mood you're in. And the only thing that I mentioned in the previous videos is you do need to kill him before he summons his ads. Because then if you don't, you'll have to kill him and you'll have to kill his ads, which is just it's a major inconvenience. Because his ads don't despawn when he dies. But besides that, that's pretty much all there is to Botanica. If you have Herbalism, then don't forget to herb the last boss, because he'll give you Ancient Lichen, Mana Thistle, he'll give you a bunch of goodies. Like there's Dreaming Glory and Mana Thistle, which will sell in the auction house for quite well. But besides that, that's really all there is to Botanica. Now I'm going to run Botanica one more time, but I need to transition into my next video, so yeah.